आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज, विज्ञान की आवाज, की आवाज।
A big hello to all our listeners. Welcome to an enriching podcast series, Vigyan Ki Awaaz. This podcast series focuses on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine. An initiative to promote STEM, science, technology, engineering, medicine and mathematics. Taking ahead the journey, we are bringing to you yet another enriching conversation with another eminent guest in the field of science and technology.
I am Dr. Amarjit Singh. I am a senior scientist at the National Institute of Plant Genome Research. So it's a institute of basically Institute of Department of Biotechnology. Recently, it has come under one umbrella organization called BRIC, Biotech Research Innovation Council. So this is one of the premier research institute on the plant sciences, located in the area of JNU campus. So I am working in this institute since year 2017. So it's been more than 8 years now. So in INSA, I was elected as a INSA Associate Fellow in the year 2023. India, in terms of growing rice, India is the second largest producer after China.
Okay.
Right? And in chickpea, India is the largest producer. Chickpea is a very important crop for the Indian subcontinent, and India contributes about 75% of the world's total production of chickpea. And especially most of our, majority of our vegetarian population in the country is largely dependent on the plant-based, proteins for their nutrition. So chickpea, or you can say the grams, or also called garbanzo beans, they are the very important source for their diet for the vegetarians. And apart from the proteins, they are very rich source of several minerals and several other important nutrients. So yeah, chickpea is very important crop. So in that sense, basically India is contributing a lot, not only for ourselves, for the other countries of the world also. Right? So as I said, today in terms of rice production, we are in such a condition that we are not only able to support our own population, but soon we will also be in a condition to export the rice from India to outside also. Right? Similarly, chickpea. So India is one of the most important country in terms of the production of both these crops.
Okay, I think that wise we are ruling the universe, and we are ruling the globe, and India has something where we can say head held high, and we are quite ahead of a lot of other countries.
Yes.
Wonderful. So sir, I mean also everybody who is a science passionate would always look ahead. Science is always looking ahead with more innovations, more facts and more benefits to the community. What is the future of the country vis-a-vis this field? How do you see what is still in the plan charts, and in the years to come, this is what we can work upon?
Yeah, so as I said, lot of has been done, but lot of work is yet to be done. So for example, we are working in the field of crop nutrient deficiency responses. So recently the government of India, in the parliament itself, they declared that many states in the country are their soil in the agricultural fields are highly deficient in important nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So growing important crops in such fields is very, very difficult task. So and then India has a very limited resources for these important fertilizers, which we use extensively to support the growth of these important crops, because our soil is deficient, so we have to supply a lot of chemical fertilizers from outside. And as India have very limited resources for these fertilizers, we are dependent on the foreign countries, and we import a lot of fertilizers from outside, right? So these fertilizers are very, very expensive, and for supporting that fertilizer supply and to also support the farmers, government gives a lot of subsidy for these chemical fertilizer, and that cost a lot on the exchequers. So if currently in my lab itself and some other groups also, we are trying to develop the crops which are nutrient use efficient. That means we supply a lot of fertilizers in the field, but still crop is not able to utilize all the fertilizer which is applied. They are not efficient enough to take everything. So a large proportion of these fertilizers, they sometimes they leaches out in the water, in the water layer in the soil, and then they go into the water body and they create the problems of the water pollution and the environmental pollution, and through eutrophication, which is a very large, it is a huge health hazard for the human beings also. So now the effort has been directed to produce the crops which are highly nutrient use efficient. That means even if we apply a lot of fertilizer in the field, so if we can generate or we can engineer crops in such a way that they can utilize maximum of the whatever fertilizer has been applied, or in other way they can grow and produce well in the limited supply of the input or the chemical fertilizers. So for that, several molecules have been identified and discovered, and now the efforts are being made to understand what is the mechanism that these molecules regulate various pathways or various other molecules or some transporters of these nutrients which are involved in the uptake of the nutrients from the soil. So how these channels or these molecules which are regulating these channels are doing interplaying with each other, so that improve the nutrient uptake, at the same time transport of the nutrient from root to shoots and different parts of the plant where they are optimally utilized and involved in various important physiological functions. So that would be very important if we can put our efforts to identify some novel mechanism, or we can identify some novel pathways and molecules which can improve the nutrient use efficiency and minimize the fertilizer inputs in the field. That's where they will, we will be able to limit the environmental pollution. At the same time, we'll help our farmers to help our farmers for their agricultural activity with the limited input and limited finances, and there will be no extra financial burden on the farmers.
Okay, I mean there is so much yet to be done, like you said.
Yes.
And the story is still untold, and I'm sure in this particular field, India has many success stories to add.
Yes.
And while we just mentioned success stories, you have a rich flavored journey in the field of science. Why don't you share a few success stories of your life in this field of science? How satisfying it is from inside to be someone in the field of science, and somewhere down the line you must be believing in yourself that good that I was meant for this field, and I've been blessed to contribute to the country. A few stories from your life, sir.
Okay, so my journey in the science begin, I would say, from the beginning I was not very much a plant scientist.
Okay.
To be very honest. During my early days, I was more inclined in the area of animal biology and cancer biology. By some circumstances, or you can say accidentally, I land up in the area of plant sciences, and I started my journey of science in the field of plant molecular biology. So I did my PhD from the Department of Plant Molecular Biology at the University of Delhi South Campus. Then after completing my PhD, then I went to US, Washington State University, where I completed my postdoc. And then after coming back from the postdoc from US, I got this job as a scientist at National Institute of Plant Genome Research. So here, from my PhD, I worked on the molecular biology of the plant, and especially I explored various important components which were not which were not known earlier, and their role in the important biological processes like abiotic stress tolerance or the plant development. So if you ask me the success story, I would say that the first success was that I could identify a very important group of genes in the rice genome, say for example some protein phosphatases and then phospholipases. These are very crucial and important group of enzymes which regulate a number of important biological processes. So I mean we were the first to report these group of genes from the rice genome, and we published them in different publications. And these publications are being now used by the scientific community worldwide, and these work are appreciated well. So we feel happy that our work has been used by the scientific community and appreciated also. At the same time, we also, we explore one important regulatory mechanism of regulating the nutrient, the potassium, one of the important nutrient, like how in Arabidopsis, a model plant, the potassium under potassium deficiency stress, how plant behave and how we can make the plant tolerant to this potassium deficiency. So in that direction, we revealed one novel mechanism where one protein phosphatase regulate a serine threonine protein kinase, it dephosphorylate this protein kinase, and then it brings about the tolerance to the plant under potassium deficiency condition. So that was a novel mechanism we unearthed in like somewhere around 2018. So that was an important discovery from our work. And recently in chickpea we have identified several important component of JA biosynthesis signaling, which could be playing a very important role in regulating the nutrient, improving the nutrient use efficiency, both chickpea as well as in rice. So these are some of the important works from our lab, and we are happy that we are working in the crop system which are crucial from the Indian point of view, and also if in future whatever we have identified so far, whatever molecules we have identified, if we can use these molecules for the genetic engineering of these crop for the enhanced nutrient use efficiency or the improve stress tolerance, and they can give some beneficial traits, and we will be very much satisfied.
Wonderful. So any one dream thought of yours that this is certainly what I want to do in the field of Vigyan? Because this podcast is Vigyan Ki Awaaz, what is your own Man Ki Awaaz which you want to do in the field of science?
As said, we are the plant molecular biologist, and our area is to understand the basic of the whatever biology happening inside the plant. So if we can identify these key molecules or these important component of some critical molecular pathway, where if these molecules can be manipulated, it can give enhanced yield and tolerance to these stressful conditions, and can help to the growth, agricultural growth of the country and the economy. That would be satisfying for us as a scientific group. And since we are here for the community, to serve the community as a scientist, whatever we can do for our community in the country, and especially the farmers, if we can give any knowledge which they can utilize and serve the country in terms of both socially as well as economically, we would be very much satisfied and happy that we could contribute somehow into the growth of the country.
Wow, wonderful. Last but not the least, this initiative, Vigyan Ki Awaaz, is particularly to popularize science, all the verticals in which the country is very proud of: science, technology, engineering, medicine and mathematics. How is this concept to you, and any suggestions from your side to make Vigyan Ki Awaaz a very, very popular and strong initiative?
So first of all, I would like to congratulate you for taking this initiative and taking it forward. It's a wonderful initiative that you are trying to popularize the science through your medium, It is very important that we people as a scientist, we do a lot of work and we do a lot of science in our labs, but somehow whatever we are doing, it does not reach to the real stakeholders, which are the public of the country, right? So ultimately government funds so much of money to our institutes and for us, and then we work day and night in our labs and do some science, but until this science reaches really to the stakeholders and for whom we are doing this work, then there is of no use. So it is important that whatever we are doing in the fields, in some form, either in form of some articles, some news, or some kind of media, as you are doing, it should go to the public, and then public should become aware that this kind of work has been happening in the country, and then people are trying to help them from the scientific point of view, and soon we will be having some good varieties or good crop systems where farmers will be benefited, and ultimately the society will be benefited, and our country is growing well in that direction. So if they come to know, they get the knowledge from this, they feel also connected with their scientific community, which most of the time people don't even know that what scientists in the country are doing.
Yes.
So through program like this, they feel connected, and they this bridge is kind of made that the scientists are connected with the community, and then community also know what our scientists, which are funded by the government, and government is supporting various programs, how they are helping them in that direction, so that they also generate a very good perspective about the scientific community. So this is a very nice initiative, and I again congratulate you for this wonderful initiative.
Thank you so much, sir. And with this promise that we will meet very, very soon, while you have your further plans also being achieved, I'm sure the next time when we meet you, we'll have more success stories to your book, and we'll also have new innovative thoughts from you, and more scientists talking about the field of science.
Sure.
India is very, very proud about the entire battalion and the bank of scientists we have, because when we say India is proud, in that pride we also have science and the scientists and their contributions. So with a big thanks, with heartfelt gratitude that you gave your time to us today, we take a break, and we promise that we meet very, very soon in Vigyan Ki Awaaz.
Thank you so much. Again, I thank you for inviting me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So in Vigyan Ki Awaaz today, we had a very, very eminent, passionate scientist, and I think the guest today showed his passion in the field of science and how greatly he wants to contribute to the country. We take a break here, and we promise to meet in the next episode with yet another enriching discussion. Till then, stay glued to Vigyan Ki Awaaz. Thank you so much. Dear listeners, we take a break at this enriching conversation. Catch more insightful discussions about science and the world of science. In the next episode, we shall bring to you more interesting discussions, his colorful contributions in the field of science, and his passion for the field. Until and up to we meet in the next episode, please take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz. Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast series to popularize STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ, एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़।